Why? Why, Freddy? Why?
Hey, man, what's in the box?
Oh, hey, nothing. It's just the integrity of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I know it's been dead for like 5 years, but it's finally time to put it to rest. I guess I'll have to bury it next to George Lucas's talent. First installment of Inebriated Analysis. I'm Big Mike here with
the Kentucky Killbilly,
and we are going to be delving into the good, the bad, the ugly, and the oh my god, make it end of the Nightmare on Elm Street series of films. We're going to be starting with one and casually mentioning the other five. Yeah, five. And then we will be, or I will be, talking about the remake, because I was the only one willing to sit through it. And you owe me a beer for this one. I mean, seriously. Oh. But without further ado, I will let you take over and run through the first film.
So, as Big Mike mentioned, I am going to discuss the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And if you haven't seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street, first of all, what the is wrong with you?
Seriously, go do that.
Yeah.
Like now.
And second of all, you've probably seen the remake, which God help you if you have.
He's not helping me.
Okay. So, the first Nightmare on Elm Street focuses on Nancy and all of her friends in high school. Basically, her and her group of friends. She finds out her friends are being picked off by Freddy Krueger. And Wes Craven created one of the best boogeymen in Freddy Krueger that you could ever find. You know, this movie's got everybody that, you know, wound up, well, a couple of people that wound up making it pretty big. And especially, you know, Johnny Depp and Heather Langenkamp, who went on to do other Nightmare on Elm Street and things like that. So the first point that I really want to make about this movie is Nancy, played by Heather Langenkamp, obviously. Her portrayal of Nancy is great because she really brings Nancy to life. Because without her, who would care about Nancy? Nobody. Not me.
Well, I think I might.
Well, buddy, nobody gives a shit what you think. The film was, besides Nancy, whose character was really brought to life by Heather Langenkamp, is Robert Englund's Freddy. Now, Robert Englund's Freddy, he got campy. He got really campy. But in this movie, he was menacing with a really dark sense of humor. So it really kind of made his whole character until he got silly in part 4 and 5. So another thing that I want to mention real quick about Freddy is that his makeup was, in my opinion, my favorite in the first movie. So the next point I really want to make is that the kills in this movie were great for their time, right? Like you had the scene with Chris where she hung across the room and flying across the ceiling, and then she got slit open by Freddy Krueger, but you don't see anything. That was one of the most intense scenes in that movie for me, because the first time I saw that, I was like, what? You know, I didn't know what to think. And then the second kill scene that I really think cool in the movie was the scene where Glenn is drug into his bed and just his blood is just like squirting all over the place and the ceiling gets a new paint job.
Oh, that is absolutely glorious.
But then you had the scene where Chris's boyfriend was hung in prison. That was pretty well all the deaths in the movie.
And an interesting fact about the end of the very first Nightmare on Elm Street. I almost said Friday the 13th. I almost got Jason, you almost got me. I'm watching you. I am watching you. Now, the interesting thing about the end of Nightmare on Elm Street is there is a huge battle, full-on battle, between Heather and Freddy, which goes on for so long. It's very cool, and at one point she lights him on fire.
Right.
And this was not a stuntman doing this. This wasn't CGI. CGI wasn't a thing back in the day. Man, I wish that was the case now. Oh, that's all we had in the new one. But we had Robert Englund, the actual big money actor from just off of his hit series V, burning himself, doing a full body burn, which is, if you know anything about stunts, that takes a lot out of you, and that is very, very dangerous. And he actually did this for a good 5 minutes almost. It was absolutely impressive. He held the record for the longest full body burn on film for a very long time, which is...
But like I was saying, the kill scenes are great in this movie. The final thing that really, really makes this movie great, in my opinion, is that the dream sequences feel like dream sequences, and there's actually some freaky stuff going on in them. You know, if you look at the dream Chris was having before she was thrown across the ceiling and ripped apart, you will notice that, you know, you see Freddy, and then you see Freddy turn into this big friggin' shadow thing. So, I mean, right there, whoever isn't afraid of that, you're lying, you know? And another thing is, too, the scene that really got to me the most when I was a kid was the scene where Nancy's sleeping in class and she walks out into the hallway and the body of Chris is being dragged through the hallway, but there's nothing dragging her. You know, that's just a scene and just a trail of blood. That scene just really freaked me out when I was a kid. And the dream sequences, you know, they really felt like dreams. You know, they were colored weird. You know, they felt almost surreal, as they should have. But those are the things that I think are great about the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and those are the things that really made the movie for me, personally. The hell are you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to resurrect Wes Craven.
Hey-o! So, now that I've told you about my end of the bargain, that I'm going to introduce everyone's favorite homicidal maniac, who unfortunately had to sit through a horrible movie which made him even more homicidal.
Yeah, oh, the sights, I'll never forget the sights, oh my God. Oh, there's a camera. Oh, hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the back end of this review, and there's a good reason this is the back end, because this is a remake of the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, everybody remembers the characters that he was just talking about because they are relatively iconic to the series. You have Nancy, who keeps coming back, and she's back in this one. Nancy is back, being played by Rooney Mara, who some of you might recognize from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the sleeper, well, not hit, just sleeper. Well, I fell asleep during it anyway. And we have her co-starring beside, well, yeah, I would say, well, second fiddle, really, to Jackie Earle Haley playing Freddy.
Playing Rorschach.
Basically playing Rorschach. Now, and if you don't know what we're talking about here, Rorschach is a character from the Watchmen series, which Jackie Earle Haley portrayed in roughly 2009, 10-ish, around that area.
Something like that. 2009.
I don't know. Now, you may wonder, well, why is there such a coincidence between a superhero character and a slasher movie character? Well, the reason is the voice, mainly, and the fact that Jackie Earle Haley is not intimidating. Not in the least. I am not afraid of a 120-pound man with a couple of knives on his fingers. But then again, I'm kind of a hard guy to scare. So, like most modern horror movies, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake had its share of scares, I guess. This movie was filled with jump scares. Which, if you don't know what a jump scare is, that is a pathetic attempt at a jump scare. That is exactly what that is. And jump scares are really not good for horror. They're not. Jump scares are startling. You're afraid of someone screaming in your ear. I had the same experience at Sinister 2 when I saw it recently. I wasn't afraid of the jump scares. I was afraid of the guy screaming in my ear telling me that something is scary. So you call on the director grabbing you and going, "Notice what's going on!" And I don't like when people do that to me. I'm just that kind of guy, where if you tell me I need to do something, I'm probably not going to do it. And that's what this movie did. Even in the dream sequences, which are supposed to be scary and ominous. No, they were not. It was like somebody bought a bad fog machine, and we're trying to shoot things at night so it would be creepy and spooky. And no, it wasn't. And Jackie, I hate to keep ragging on this guy, but you are not scary. You don't scare me, Jack. And God, the makeup was horrible. Well, not really makeup, because it was more CGI than anything. You were watching a puppet stalk a bunch of high school kids. The one redeeming factor about this film that I can think of is that Jackie Earle Haley is a good actor. He didn't do that bad of a job. He just not physically intimidating. Robert Englund was a big dude, backing a giant fistful of knives. You may be thinking, wait, can't small people be intimidating? What about Orphan? That was a good movie. I don't care what you have to say. I'm right, you're wrong. That's how life works. I'm sorry. I really am. That's just how it works. And it's hard to intimidate somebody. Freddy needs to be intimidating. It's like Jason. You would not cast Vern Troyer as Jason because he's not intimidating. Nothing against you, Vern. Love you. You're awesome. But, yeah, it just happens like that. And Rooney Mara as Nancy, which, honestly, I can say with confidence, she did as good a job as she could do, which is not very good. I have no confidence in her. I have never been impressed by Rooney Mara. Christ, I've never even been impressed by Kate Mara, let alone anyone else. And she's the only actor in this movie, besides Jackie, that even sticks out, which doesn't make any sense. It's a horror movie. You should have distinct personalities and characters to do this. And they try to bring back the old ones from the film. They bring back Chris, or as I call her, random blonde cheerleader. Number one. Was she a cheerleader in the movie? No, she wasn't a cheerleader in the movie. I'm still calling her random blonde cheerleader because that's what this actress plays. That's who she plays her at. And I don't care what else you'd say because that is who she is. And they bring back the bathtub scene because you have to have the bathtub scene with the things coming up. It's like, we've seen it before. Do something different. You think, well, this is a remake. They have to rehash the old ideas. But no. No. It's not enough to recreate interesting moments with new and innovative technology, new acting, and better set design. No. We're just going to do the exact same thing, but with CGI. So, yeah. You're just going to watch a couple of puppets. That's all you're going to do. You're going to watch puppets, man. Oh, yeah, did you go see that new movie? Yeah, man, I watched puppets for a while. It was weird. Wait, did you watch Team America? No. Matrix, then. Oh, Matrix, that's what I saw, yeah. It's just an abomination of CGI. And really, I don't know how this film came to be. And not only do I not care how it came to be, and not only do I not care if New Line Cinema decides to take this review down, because if they do, well, come at me, bro. But I don't see the point. They're cashing in on the 80s nostalgia with this movie, and it didn't have a single hint of creativity at all. It just made me want to reach out and strangle the people on screen, and you shouldn't want to do that. You really shouldn't, or at least in my opinion. Well, what do you think? Is it just me?
No. You should be at least entertained by a movie.
This wasn't even entertaining in a bad way. This was not even, oh my God, this is so terrible, you have to see this.
It was a sad cash-in on the Nightmare on Elm Street name.
I counted the time and money that I wasted seeing this movie in theaters, which I don't remember a single bit of it from the theater. I ended up watching it on TV when it came out. I did have it on DVD.
Oh, so you bought it, huh?
No, I didn't buy it. I'm not insane. Well, okay, let's just give you guys a little insight into how I get my movies when I'm not going to the theater, which is never. How I almost always get my films. You see, there's a Tibetan monk that lives atop a high mountain in the Andes. You may be wondering, why is a Tibetan monk living in the Andes? Because he does, shut up. You have to climb to the top of the mountain where he will impart on you his wisdom and a pirated copy of a film. Such a nice guy, he really is. We all miss you, Pedro.
If you haven't seen A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, see it now. It was innovative for its time because not only was it a great movie, but it also had the first serial killer who talked.
Oh yeah, up until then, all you had was random dudes with masks and knives just doing this.
Which anybody could play those guys.
I mean, Christ,
anybody could play those guys.
Oh my God, I'm Michael Myers.
Real scary.
Oh my God, it's like watching the movie. And that'll be $8.95.
Yeah, exactly. And he was real, and you know, None of them were charismatic or anything, but Robert Englund
Yeah.
really added